Hello and welcome to another episode of Minimize Regret. In this video, I really have no plan for what I want to say, but I was a bit inspired by a clip of a podcast where Jocko Willink was on Chris Williamson's podcast, Modern Wisdom. And kind of the conclusion that they ended up coming to was that regret is a feature of life rather than a bug. Like, they seem to be of the opinion that life is all about trade-offs and regret is unavoidable. And while I do really like that idea, I'm not 100% sure, but it does kind of play into the name of the channel. The minimize regret implies that there is always going to be regret, but you can try to get it down as little as possible, and that is a good way to live your life and make decisions. So I'm definitely on board with that. And something else that Jocko brought up and mentioned that I really like is he said there's really no solutions in life. And this is something that I've thought about countless times. Like, you have this problem and you think it's the only thing holding you back from being successful or making a lot of money or being healthy or being happy. And it turns out for the most part that's just an excuse because you can make choices that will reduce that thing and it may make your life better, but there's probably going to be downsides to that as well. So I do think it is a bit dangerous to really be looking for a solution thinking that's going to solve all your problems and suddenly everything's going to be perfect in your life, because that's simply just not how things work. Life is a series of trade-offs, and obviously we try to make ones that overall improve our life, but the truth is there's always trade-offs, which means, at least from their perspective and also kind of from my perspective, that there will always be at least regret because you have closed loops that you never know what would have happened if you tried something else or made a different decision. Now, having said that, part of my philosophy on how to minimize regret is trying a lot of things out, and so you at least start to close loops. Like, maybe you try something for a few months and you really decide, you gave it an honest chance, but you decide it's really not for you. Well, I think that's great because you probably learned a lot from that experience, and as long as you gave it an honest effort, like, I do think you've learned from that. Now, part of me also thinks that regret doesn't have to be a feature of life, and that's the side of me that's really into meditation and this concept of enlightenment. The way I see it is, if you can find a way to always be in the present and always be in the now and be content with that, then there's no reason to feel regret. Now, having said that, I'm not enlightened, and it does feel a bit ethereal and difficult to hold on to. And I'm not really sure how to get there, but it does seem possible that if you could reach enlightenment, then you would no longer feel regret. But because I'm not enlightened, I'm not going to go too far into detail in this video. So yeah, those are just some thoughts that I had based on watching another podcast, and it was bringing up a lot of themes that I already thought about, and hopefully I was able to tie some of those together in this video. And that's all I've got for now, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.